Well, hello and welcome to this week's episode here on the Resto Saga Classic Car Restoration YouTube channel. And this week we're back at the Land Rover, which is just out of shot. And as I announced a couple of weeks ago, we are starting with a camper conversion on my 1976 Land Rover Series 3 88-inch diesel. Now this is going to be a long process as I work out all the various stages, but to begin with it's going to start out as a bit of a day van, so it's going to be a bit more usable for me and my family. So this episode, as you probably gathered, is fitting a rear seat to the back of the Land Rover, and I've bought a new rear seat. I got it off eBay via JGS 4x4. It is the Britpart rear seat because, well, the Expert trim one was too expensive. It's not a seat that's going to be used a huge amount, and rather than forking out twice the value on an Expert trim one, I went for the slightly cheaper one. I also bought a lap belt, so we're going to be fitting that, and one very small modification at the end, which I think you all as viewers of the YouTube channel are going to appreciate. So let's unbox the seat and get it fitted to the Land Rover. So this is how the box arrived at the house. It's fairly neat. It's not actually all that big. I was expecting it to be slightly bigger, but then the back of a short wheelbase Land Rover is not all that big. So let's start taking the various bits and pieces out. First of all, this is the seat base. We'll put that off to one side. That's probably going to be the last bit fitted. Next in here, this is going to be the back of the seat, and as you can see I've gone for black vinyl with a powder coated black frame, which sits in well with the rest of the Land Rover, and if one day I make the rest of the Land Rover in the limestone, this will go nicely as well. This is the frame for the base. Again, looks quite high quality, nicely finished in the powder coating. And last but not least, some nuts, bolts and fitting brackets. So let's get it put in the back of the Land Rover. So with the back of the seat here leaned up against the Toylander, these are the instructions which also came with the seat. And I'm going to fit these brackets in here, and then I need to go in the back of the Land Rover. Apologies about the background noise. Someone outside is using a circular saw, and we're also in the middle of Storm Ciara here in the UK, which is somewhat inconvenient from shooting videos in the outside, but we'll do our best from noise. Apologies for the garage doors, they do rattle in the wind. So with the seat base down on the floor here, I fitted these two brackets just loosely as per the instructions. These slot in to the inside of the galvanized strippings, the inside of the tub, and sort of locate the seat in the correct position. So we'll walk that round now, get it slotted in position, and then I'll get a drill and get ready to put the mounting holes in here. So I've got the garage door open, and hopefully the wind noise isn't too bad in this video, but these are the little location slots I'm talking about. This little small one here, and there's another one up here towards the back. And the reason I'm putting the seat on this side, number one, my wife wanted it on this side, of course, and number two, someday I might fit an internal bed type frame on this side, so there's no point in having a seat which sits above the level of the tub on the wrong side. On the other hand, I might fit a second seat on that side. I haven't really decided. So let's get this all set up, measured, and then get some bolts in. Okie doke, so that's the seat back and the base roughly set in place. I've put a bolt in here and a bolt in here just to locate it all. And now I'm getting ready to screw a bolt here, or screw a hole here and here. Sorry, the lighting's not great there. One criticism I'll make of this kit: these aren't stainless steel bolts. I knew they weren't going to be, but I will replace them at some stage. I'm also going to put a little reinforcing plate underneath here just so it's not screwing into thin aluminium, which is not exactly ideal, and always double check for wires underneath. So screw these brackets up tight. That means these are located correctly, get the holes drilled, and then we're nearly finished. Quite quick and easy. Apologies, but the workmen have started up their circular saw again. So there we go, nice and sturdy. That's going to hinge up and down like that. It's nice and smooth. Bolted through on two sides. I've tightened these hinge bolts up just enough but not too much that this won't move. And now I'm going to put a little rivet in here, which is the retaining strap, so whenever I don't need the seat it'll fold up. tie the seat base on and you'll catch me up in a little second. And there we have it, the finished article. Seat base is in, there's a little strap that'll hook up around the back, all fit and connect. I think it looks really smart. The lovely black powder coated frame, the black vinyl's actually showing up how tatty the rest of it is in here, so maybe time for a bit of a smarten up. So now I'm going to take it a test drive, take Mrs. Resto Saga and Junior Resto Saga out and about, and I'll report to you back after this is done and tell you what else I've done to the Land Rover. So we're just back from a bit of a test drive in the Land Rover. As I said, we're battling the end of Storm Ciara here in Northern Ireland. So the Land Rover got pretty mucky because all the roads are soaking wet, but very much a success. Mrs. Resto Saga says the back seat is nice and comfy. And Junior Resto Saga quite enjoyed seeing Mummy in the back. A bit dark in here, sorry. So one seat fitted, maybe go on to fit another. It all depends on my plans as to whether I'm going to put an internal bed or the table as I had planned. Working this out one bit at a time. So next stage I'm going to look into here on the camper van conversion is to put some sound deadening in. I'm going to put panels in here. I'm going to put some closed cell foam insulation up either side. I'm also along the roof, and then get some probably 4mm marine ply cut to shape and covered probably with cream vinyl so it all matches in quite nicely, and we'll tidy it up. The rear tub also needs tidied up and repainted in cream so it's all a bit nicer. Other things you may have noticed from the thumbnail is the spare wheel is back on the bonnet. This is of course the Deluxe bonnet with the built-in spare wheel mount, Deluxe being the one with the curved edge rather than the razor edge. This wheel was the one I repaired a couple of months ago. You probably may have seen the video on that, repairing the wheel, so it's back up on there, and I finally got the clamps on the right way. Didn't realise I had them wrong before. Excuse the sockets, those have been there actually since I did the restoration. They work fine, mainly because the bolts I have are too long, and I never have bought the originals because they're a stupid amount of money for 2 bolts. This here is for a padlock. I'm going to need to find myself a nice rubberized padlock so when it is on there it doesn't scratch the wheel moving around, and then ideally I would get a spare wheel cover just to tidy it all up and to stop the wheel going rusty, because at the end of the day when it's raining the water lies in this then the dished bit in there, and I really don't want to rust my nicely powder coated wheel. The other thing, as I said, you might have noticed in the thumbnail, was I have the original number plates on. These are the Blue Mills type number plate, fitted in the late 70s. These are the three-dimensional plastic letters on an aluminium backing plate and reflective self-adhesive coating there. I restored these in a previous video. You may remember that, or you may even have seen it. I'm really pleased at how these have come out. I'll take you around and show you the back one. That's as good a view as you can get, I'm sorry, with the door closed. So very pleased as to how those 2 number plates have turned out. So all looking very much a bit tidier, except that it's just been out around the mucky roads and could probably do with another wash. One last thing I did say, an improvement, is ta-da! We have a phone mount. This is just a little cheap one off eBay. Works very well. Stays nice and steady. So what I'm going to try and do is some videos taken from inside the vehicles, which I haven't been able to do up until now. So if it works well in the Land Rover, I'll buy another one for the Morris Minor and another for the MG. I'm going to do some nice driving videos, and then I can talk to camera, hopefully, while I'm driving. But not promise that, because at the end of the day, the Land Rover is pretty noisy. And so there you have it. Yes, I have a coat and a hat on. Just it's very cold here and it's a bit of a change from the start of the video, but there you go. I hope you've enjoyed this little update on the slow ongoing process of converting my 1976 Land Rover into a camper. Initially going through a day van phase, but hopefully going into overnight usage. We've made some changes, got some new number plates in. I've shown you how to fit the back seat from Britpart, which I'm very pleased with, and so is Mrs. Resto Saga. We've also got a new camera mount for inside, and we've got the spare wheel back in the bonnet. So definitely made some progress here on the Land Rover. Going forward, it needs a seatbelt fitted to the bench seat. For safety, it's going to be a lap belt rather than a 3-point purely for safety reasons. If you crash with a 3-point, it's going to cause you a neck injury rather than lap belt is probably a bit safer, although not ideal to have a crash whenever you're on a side-facing bench seat in the back of a classic Land Rover. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the subscribe button down there on the bottom of the screen. Also give me a like if you've enjoyed this. Lots more projects ongoing, including rebuilding the diff for this. We've done recent videos on Steam. The MG is going to require some work soon. Lots going on here on the channel, and I'd really appreciate your support. So you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and also a little bit on Twitter, although probably more Instagram and Facebook are the big two. Like I said, give me a subscribe, like the video. I reply to all my comments, I still do, and also the Toylander. I forgot about that. You've seen that in this video, and that's really making some good progress as well. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you again next week. Cheerio.